Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a top 5 gaming mice video for summer 2023. The first top 5 mouse video I've made in 8 months. I used to make them a lot more often, then I just stopped. They became a rarity, but yeah, that's what this is going to be. As you can see, there are a lot more than 5 mice on my desk, so I'm going to include some honorable mentions. I just want to talk about like good mice available, more than just a strict 5 mice only list. So you might say the title of this video is inaccurate. I don't care. But yeah, if you enjoy content, be sure to like and subscribe. And first off is going to be number 5, the Logitech GPX Superlight. The reason it's at number 5 is because I really just don't recommend buying one at this point. It's still like $140 in the US, and I just have a strong hunch that Logitech is going to release a new mouse by the end of the year. So just if you have a Superlight, it's still definitely a viable mouse. I'm not going to give the whole fucking spiel. It's extremely light, very safe shape, just solid all around. There are so many accessories for it. That's what I honestly use it for, just to test out all of the skates made for it. There's really no way to spin the Superlight to where you can say that the performance is bad. It's just not true, but it's definitely not an exciting mouse almost 3 years into its lifespan. But yeah, now number 4, some more interesting niche mice. I'm going to give it to the Gwolves series, the HTX 4K and the HTX Plus 4K. If I thought these were like flawless mice, they would definitely be like either number 2 or number 1. But yeah, they are still Gwolves products, but you got to give Gwolves credit. In the past year or so, they really have gone from basically not selling their mice to essentially having them constantly in stock, and they are higher priced, around $160 for the 4K versions after you use a code, I think 110 for the 1000 hertz version, so you can decide if you want the higher polling. I'm going to be 100% honest, I feel like their 4K implementation is like one step behind somebody like Razer's. I just feel like Razer's 4K does have a more premium, more consistent, smoother feeling, but could just be my system, I suppose. But yeah, overall, these are insanely good mice. The HTX Plus is around 50 grams, and the HTX is 40. So just a 40-gram low-profile mouse, extremely good performance. It's hard to hate on, but it just might not be a shape that is for you. But yeah, considering performance and availability, it's hard to say that it's a better deal to spend $280 on the 50-gram Viper Mini Signature than getting an HTX from Gwolves. But that's really just comes down to personal preference, and if you are looking for something more suited for claw grip with like a higher profile hump, definitely go with the HTX Plus. I have heard that Gwolves has something 26 grams with a full shell in production, but I don't know when that's actually going to come out. But yeah, in my experience, the Gwolves 4K battery life has been pretty poor. I'm not in love with their zippy switch implementation. It's not unusable, but it just feels like it has the mushiness of opticals. I'm just really not sure what the benefit is compared to like a Huano switch. But yeah, the mouse charges with a USB-C cable, but the dongle uses a micro USB cable, and that is maybe one of the most frustrating things about this mouse. I would definitely use it more if it did not have the brain dead charging solution. So that's definitely something they can fix in the future. The stock skates are also kind of poor, but they have a flat base that lets you put on whatever you want. But yeah, now moving on to number 3. Number 3 is going to be the NP01S Wireless. I just reviewed this mouse very recently and was extremely high on it. If you've been watching my channel for a while, I've liked the NP01S shape forever, and they finally made it wireless. They don't have a 4K solution, but Vaxi's 1K hertz with competition mode, it just is an excellent sensor implementation. It's not the lightest mouse on the market. It is in the high 60-gram range, but the shape and the quality, the clicks, everything just feels so premium. But yeah, really the shape is just an off ambi mouse where, as you can see, it's clearly not ambidextrous, but it's not following a typical ergo formula, so it just feels extremely nice depending on how you claw grip. The right side feels amazing, and the thumb groove on the left side feels really nice. So it's just a shape I'm extremely high on. Vaxi's a company that's committed to quality, and I just like what they put out. Vaxi also does make the EC Wireless, which is the same in terms of specs, but in my opinion, the all-around experience is just a bit worse. The mouse is heavier, the shape is bulkier, so if you are into a more relaxed like grip style, this could be a very good mouse, so I just figured worth mentioning as well. But the NP01S is really the best for me. And now I'm going to start the honorable mentions. These are all like interchangeable for a spot in this list. I just did not want to not include them. So first, it's going to be the Pulsar X2 and the Lamzu Atlantis. Obviously, the mini variants as well. Lamzu recently came out with a 4K version of the Atlantis, and obviously I recommend going for that if you don't have the mouse at all. But if you have the standard Atlantis and you're satisfied with it, I would not say it's a necessary upgrade. If you don't know the deal with the Lamzu Atlantis by now, it is literally basically a Endgame Gear XM1 wireless clone. Endgame Gear does have the XM2 Wii, but in my opinion, they kind of just lost out on their own shape war to Lamzu. That is only a 3370 implementation. The XM2W that's been up for pre-order for like a year and a half is still just in limbo. So yeah, I've really always recommended Lamzu if you're looking for something medium-sized for claw grip. The mini version is a very small mouse, but if you do have smaller hands, that will obviously accommodate you. But I just don't love that shape for fingertip as much as I like something like the X2 Mini, which has a lot flatter sides, or even something like the Viper Mini Signature Edition or the HTX. Like the Lamzu Atlantis Mini is just kind of weird for fingertip. It's still usable though, but yeah, definitely just a smaller claw grip mouse. And the Pulsar X2, apparently they're coming out with a newer version of it. I literally just checked their Twitter. So yeah, the standard X2s, apparently they're going to reduce the weight more and improve the build quality. I might be a bit biased because I did obviously release the X2 boardzy edition, but I also put a lot of time on the mouse in that process. But yeah, I've just always enjoyed this shape a lot. And yeah, it seems like Pulsar is only improving on it farther this summer. I think they're going to keep things like the updated coating. They're switching to optical switches, and like they said, lower weight, same shape, but also they're releasing the X2H, which is going to have a higher hump, supposedly more like the ZA13. So yeah, maybe hold off on buying the standard Pulsar X2 right now, but I would say Pulsar X2, Lamzu Atlantis, these are still top 5 contenders, if not in the top 5, and it's worth noting that they are under $100, so a bit more budget friendly than most of the other wireless mice I've been talking about so far. But yeah, now another honorable mention, maybe the most budget friendly on this video, the VGN Dragonfly F1 Pro. Max, actually, I forgot there was the Max as well. Yeah, this is the cheapest 4K mouse on the market. There actually might be a few that are like a few dollars cheaper, but this is a China mouse, and it's one of the best that they have to offer. Actually, like really good feeling build quality and clicks, which is where so many of those mice fall short. Yeah, basically $70 all in for a mouse with 4K polling. Obviously, you can save like 15 if you don't want the dongle, in the low 50 gram range. A small shape that doesn't really directly compare to anything. If I had to compare it to something in this video, it would be the HTX from Gwolves. So it is a lower mouse, definitely still viable for claw grip. Does have a bit of curvature on both of the sides, and you're going to either love or hate like the ring finger area on the right side. I personally like it, but I have heard some complaints about that. But yeah, overall the quality on this is really good. I heard it's produced in the same factory as the Ninjutsu Sora. So if you're looking for something budget friendly, I don't know why my hands are shaking. Like, please don't comment about that. Like, it's nothing out of the ordinary. Maybe just a ton of caffeine. But yeah, this is a solid budget mouse. Okay, next up is going to be a classic, a mouse that, I mean, I would never hear the end of it if I did not include a Zowie mouse in this top 5 roundup, whatever you want to call this video. But yeah, basically Zowie Wireless. They currently only have the EC series, and I did ask them privately if they have any plans to release the S series or the ZA, and they said they can't give me a date at this moment. So yeah, basically if you want the EC2, EC3, EC1 wireless, go for it. It is going to be the exact same experience as the wired version, but just without a wire. It is a $150 mouse with a 3370, but in my opinion, sensor implementation's good. All of the buttons feel the exact same, more or less, as the previous versions, and like I said, this is just going to be the same Zowie experience in wireless, so I feel like it is a bit more niche, but obviously a ton of people are just comfortable with that, and that is what they want out of a mouse. So God bless, go get your Zowie mouse if you want to. And now on a very different note in terms of ergo mice, this is the Pwnage Stormbreaker, which is kind of an EC clone. I will compare it next to the EC3, which it is going to be a bit bigger than. But yeah, this is from Pwnage, and it is a magnesium mouse. It weighs in at 50 grams, so on the total different end of the spectrum from Zowie, which is obviously going to be a bit bulkier of a mouse. But yeah, the Pwnage Stormbreaker, I was pretty mixed on. At first I didn't like it, then I used it more and I came to like it, but there's still just aspects of it that I don't think are great. I really don't know if it's worth $180, but there is nothing like it in the ergo scene. There's the Lamzu Thorn that's coming out soon, the Pulsar X-Lite V3, again, coming out soon, but currently this is the only, like, extremely lightweight ergo on the market. It does have 2K Hertz wireless and adjustable sensor position, which I find pretty cool, which honestly works flawlessly, comes with glass skates, and yeah, the cheese grater hole design on the sides, which I've covered up, is an insane just thing to do, but once you put the grip tape on, I guess it's not really a problem. So yeah, the Pwnage Stormbreaker, if you're looking for a magnesium ergo mouse, look at that scroll wheel centering, go for it. But if you're just looking for a lightweight ergo, there's definitely a lot of stuff coming out in the near future. But yeah, definitely still something worth considering, worthy of being put in the list. And now I've like run out of mice to talk about on my desk. I think we've reached the #1 spot. But yeah, to no surprise, #1 is going to be Razer's flagship lineup, the Death Adder V3 Pro and the Viper V2 Pro. I'm also going to talk about the Viper Mini Signature Edition because I do use it a lot and it's just such a stupid mouse. But yeah, really Death Adder V3 Pro or Viper V2 Pro, it's going to come down to your shape preference. Gun to my head, like my house is burning, I can only take one mouse. I'm taking the Death Adder V3 Pro, specifically the Faker Edition. It is just a perfect shape for me, basically. I was not a big fan of ergos, was not a huge fan of the original Death Adder, but like they really did switch up the shape, made it pretty EC-like, but it's just not a mouse that feels extremely bulky, but I do feel very comfortable and stable with it. The side buttons are perfect. The optical implementation, they're not going to be as sharp as some mechanical switches, but obviously extremely low latency. The tech is the best in the game. Razer gatekeeps it from the rest of companies, basically, for 18 months at a time. So companies still do not have access to the 3950 sensor. And yeah, these mice have 4K polling. The Viper Mini Signature is ridiculous, $280. Obviously, it reaches the point of diminishing returns with performance, but this is the only mouse that has 8K hertz polling compatibility out of all of the wireless mice mentioned in my video. Final Mouse is supposedly coming out with that pretty soon, which is why I didn't include any Final Mice in the video, with the ULX coming out soon. But back to Razer. This is actually my second copy of the Viper Mini Signature Edition. It was gifted to me at boardzy Fest, and as you can see, there is still a bit of side wobble and main button grinding, so it seems like that's just an issue across the board. I'm obviously not going to say every unit, but this is a newer batch. But yeah, for a $280 mouse, the quality is definitely not flawless, but it's still one of the best mice on the market, one of the best small mice specifically, in my opinion. And if you have an unlimited budget, basically, I don't think you'll regret buying the mouse, but it's definitely not something I'm recommending across the board to everybody. But just the fact that Razer makes so many good mice makes something like the Cobra Pro release makes so much less sense. They know how to make some of the best lightweight mice on the market, but they went back to something in the high 70-gram range that was just super fucking weird. But thankfully, I mean, these mice have been out for a while. They have not ever gone on like any huge price decrease below $150. I think the Viper V2 is around $130. If you want a medium-sized flat mouse, like FK-ish shape, go for it, I would say. But if you want the greatest ergo mouse of all time, Death Adder V3, no-brainer in my opinion. Also, the wired version is only $70, which is a lot more budget friendly. That is 8K hertz compatible, but obviously you just have to deal with the wire. It is also a lighter mouse since it doesn't have a battery, so a really good option, worth mentioning as well. But yeah, I feel like these are pretty clearly the #1 mice on the market. All around this video, I don't know if I missed anything, but I feel like these are just some of the best mice available. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more like niche top 5 lists, like top 5 mice for claw grip, top 5 small mice. I'm just spitballing here, but if you want to see stuff like that, let me know, because I do enjoy making these list style videos. But yeah, that's going to be all. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and peace.